I want to create a new punch card today for a friend who is buying a new home. So this gives me the perfect chance to demonstrate the process to you from start to finish. The ideal thing to do is knitter's graph paper. I have some for you to use that's free on my Answer Lady and Friends app. The difference between this and normal graph paper is the proportion. Stitches are wider than they are tall, and this paper takes that into account. Here's the pillow that eventually results from the design that we're about to go through creating together. The pattern will appear in Country Knitting of Maine News and Views magazine sometime in 2020. If you want to work as I am today on graph paper that is square and came in a notebook, you'll need to keep in mind that shortening effect and draw your design extra long. In reality, I work in pencil, but you can barely see that on the video, so I have changed to marker for that reason. My paper is 24 squares wide, which matches up with the 24 stitches that all Japanese punch cards for standard gauge machines use, so that works out fine. First step, sketch out the basic look. Second, start filling in the squares, and actually the way I'm doing it at the top, drawing in the shape of a knit stitch, gives a more accurate idea of the finished look than the way at the bottom, just filling in completely. I did home two different ways, and I like the top one better, so we'll cross out the bottom one and not use that version. Continuing to fill in so as to get a better idea of how everything will look once it's knitted, and expect some surprises. You're bound to discover something. Here's the first challenge. The tip of the pen at the right of the picture is pointing to the top of the roof. I actually want the roof in some sensible roof color and the chimney in brick red, but normal Fair Isle only allows for two colors at once. That won't be a big problem. I will let color 2, the roof color, knit the chimney also, and then I will duplicate stitch the chimney. However, I'm not very pleased that there would be 5-stitch long floats between the rooftops, so I'm going to stick in an additional punched hole between them and see if we can make that look like a bird so as not to have such long float. The next line down, 4 stitches of background color will alternate with 4 stitches of roof color, which is within acceptable tolerance, so I'll leave that alone. Third row down from the top of the roof, a problem again. 6 stitches in a row, all of the same color, which means long floats of the other color. To avoid that, I'm going to let the center 2 stitches revert to background color, changing my chart a little bit, and hope I can make that appear to be an attic dormer window or some such thing. Next line down is excellent without any problem. The longest is 2 stitches together, so that won't create any problematic floats. The windows will be in the background color. All of the rows involving the doors are the same, and they are not problematic. The longest in a series of one color is 3 stitches, and that's fine. I didn't do a very neat job of indicating that the bottom 3 rows of the house all have the door in them, but I'll make a mental note of that and make sure that's how I punch them. So, time to start transferring the markings to the punch card and duplicate the design we've just created. I'm beginning with the word home on the bottom. And remember, in real life, pencil is recommended. I'm using a marker for easy viewing. Any brand of Japanese-style punch card punch may be used. In regular old hole punchers, even if sized correctly, cannot, because of the little pin that is in the center helping you to position your holes just right. Most will only reach to the center of the card, so you do half at one time and then flip the card around and go from the edge towards the center. Every time you wish to punch a hole, partially depress the punch button, which extends the pin. Make sure that it gets stuck into the existing hole in the card, and then finish the punching action. Here we're punching the second side, working towards the center. And in a minute, I'm going to extend that pin and show you in an exaggerated way, there we go, how you feel with the pin to make sure that it is entered into the hole and your card will be punched in the exact right place. I often find it easier to complete one kind of motif, like the home on the bottom, get it punched out, then draw in the next batch. It's less visually confusing, and also if you do use a marker, you get less of it smeared on your hands by not covering the whole card in marker. Here's the entire card punched. It says home, a row of houses, suite, a row of houses, and home. In the area of the roof line, you can see that I made a faulty transcription at one time and made X's so I wouldn't accidentally punch there. If we insert the punch card the way we're looking at it now, the letters will read backwards. We need to actually insert it backwards. You can look for my video called Punch Card Orientation for Knitting Machines to get all the details you need on that subject. So, time to go give it a try. And expect at this point you may still find flaws that need tweaking. I did find one spot where I'd forgotten to punch out a marked hole. So after a swatch, I took care of that, and after that, everything went great. On the finished pillow, the chimneys have been duplicate stitched in red, and the whole thing came out just about like I hoped it would, so into a gift bag it goes.